available to play. How much of a detriment was that for your defense, and where do you go from here?
First, where we go from here is that these guys, anytime you have little nicks and injuries, you have time will heal, eventually. So those guys are healing up this week, and hopefully they'll be able to play. As far as last game, I'll be lying if I said it didn't affect, the game plan or our team a little bit, because we as a linebacker core, we like to rotate a lot, and guys get even reps here and there. But with those guys down, other guys had to step up. And we didn't have much of a rotation, but that's the game of football. When a guy goes down, the other guys have to be ready to step up and play. The coaches as well as the players have as much confidence in our backups as we do in our starters. So.
Talk about their quarterback, Keith Price, what you remember about him last year and what challenges he presents because of his mobility.
Keith Price, like a lot of quarterbacks that we faced this year, is a scrambling guy. If he doesn't like what he sees downfield, he'll tuck it and move. A special thing about Keith Price is that when he's a scrambler, he's also still looking downfield. He's one of the guys who can move and throw at the same time. So it's different from a guy who you think is particularly a runner. So when with Keith Price, if he tucks the ball and he's still looking downfield, we can't come out of coverage to bracket him. We have to stay in coverage because he's still able to throw the ball downfield. That's one special thing about him.
Robert, what are the emotions like going into a Friday night game with an evenly matched opponent, particularly when you're facing an opponent where there were some coaching changes last year? Does that really emotionally impact the way that the team views this, or is it business as usual?
It's definitely business as usual. It's a Friday night game. It's going to be a big game against a very worthy opponent. We're optimistic. We're confident. We're preparing to win the game, just like any other game. We're just going to go out there and compete. We have to compete.
Is it just another game, though, given the stakes, not because of the coaching situation, but because of your season? Is there additional pressure on you, or do you have to separate yourself from that, or how do you look at that when you realize that you cannot afford to lose this game if you want to achieve any of your goals?
There's definitely a sense of urgency. We've this season we've gone up against a lot of adversity, and we've been tested, and we just have to do a good job at responding to that adversity that we're in now, whether it be our record, whether it be losing in a particular game. There's definitely a sense of urgency, but I'd like to stress, it's no different than any other game. We're gonna prepare, just like we do every week. We're not gonna overlook. We're not gonna look at this 3-game stretch as a broad, product. We have to take it one practice at a time, one game at a time. Because if you look 2 weeks ahead, you'll miss the 1 week, that you're playing, or you'll miss the practice that you're in if you look in 3 weeks ahead. So.
Is that tough to do, to keep that balance? I mean, when you're at the point where the big picture becomes one game, I guess.
No, it's not tough for me. It's you just take it step by step. That's just how I've done since I've been here, and that's how we stress as a team. You take it day by day, practice by practice, play by play. When you're in the game, you can't be thinking about 10 plays ahead of you when you're lining up for the play that's about to start, or you can't be thinking about 10 plays behind you either. You got to play that play, and that's just a bigger representation of how we got to take these last 3 games or this game coming up.
Which talks about sometimes how things can snowball if you key plays early. I mean, it happened with UCLA where the favor was on Cal's side last week. Things really got off to a tough start with Utah. Is that kind of the way that it works out there? A few bad plays can really dictate the whole course of the game early on?
That kind of goes back to how you respond to adversity. You know, when you feel like things are going wrong, a play has to be made either on the special teams, defense, offense. We just didn't make enough plays when the snowball was rolling. You can stop the snowball from rolling down and expanding, you know, but that's by making a play. We didn't make enough plays, you know, but it can happen like that. You know, it can happen like that when you don't get back to your fundamentals and you don't get back to your execution and you just let the snowball continue to build and grow. You know, you have to stop it sooner or later. You know, but there's two teams on the field, so it's not just one team just overhauling the other one. But, you know, at one point in time, somebody has to stand up. And it's not just somebody. It has to be the majority of the people on the field at that time. You know, and we have to do a good job, a better job at doing that, and not letting it continue to, you know, just overhaul us like that.
And is that what you guys have to do Friday now? I mean, just taking your whole season into account, sort of all stand up together.
Yes, but initially we can't come out flat like we did. You know, we dug ourselves a hole in the beginning. So we can avoid having to let a snowball effect happen by not being flat and starting fast. You know, you can't start slow.
You ever thrown a snowball in your life?
Once. I've been to snow one time in my life. Yeah, one time. It was the most traumatizing experience I've ever had. I was stuck. Me and my roommate DJ Hope were coming back from Las Vegas, and we got trapped in the snow on the way back from L.A. from Vegas to Los Angeles. Yeah. We were in the middle of some town. It was in the middle of L.A. and Vegas, so it was right in the middle. Yeah. It was in the middle of winter. It was in January. Yeah. Next time I'll take a plane.
All right, I think that might be a good way to end it, unless there's a follow-up to that one.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks.